We're live? Cool. Well, good morning, everybody. For the one person in here or two people that went to the football game last night, I apologize. It's good to see you this morning. I'm also not Phyllis. I'm sorry. You're also disappointed for that. So it's a disappointing morning to begin with. But I'm going to try to do my best Phyllis impersonation and make a few announcements. The first announcement is that this is live streamed. This is a 360 camera. You are live. Yes, they all just waved back at you. I heard them on the internet. So it's live. It's being recorded. Just wanted to let you know. Second thing, if you are a faculty member and want to get PDN credit, either fill out the sheet that will be going around, or if you're online, you will do something magical online, and Chelsea will know it. There's something online for you to fill out or something. I have no idea. But if you're here, let us know, and we'll give you PDN credit. For those of you that have no idea what PDN is, it's the way that faculty get free computers for showing up to things like this. Let's see, we've got a bunch of things coming up. As you all know, ICAT exists solely to support students and faculty doing their transdisciplinary work. And we've got a bunch of support mechanisms coming up. We have the student seed grants that are due on October 7th. Any students here or online, please talk to other students, and if, either send email to us at ICAT if you want to meet other students. We can help you make connections, or you need a faculty mentor. We can connect you with some faculty mentors depending on the ideas that you have. We also have a brand new call for proposals this year that we're doing with another institute, ICTAS, and it's a call for proposals for faculty who are interested in doing work with HBCUs across the country. And it's a large grant. It's for $20,000 for 2 years. And if you're interested in that, not only is it due on November 16th, but there's a gathering in October of HBCU faculty and faculty from here to get to meet folks if you don't already have contacts there. There's also a research fellowship for those faculty in here, mid-career faculty that are applying for research leave. You can extend your research leave from 1 semester to 1 year. The proposals for that are due on December 9th. Some upcoming events. There is a special showing worked on here, led by David Franisich. He's done an animation with a team of students? No students, just you alone. Former student. And they're going to have a video that will start on October 14th. The Taubman is open from 10 to 5 every day, and that you're able to see that video that they've created for a new incoming installation there. There's also going to be a projection on the Torgerson Bridge, which will be part of the sesquicentennial, and it's a really neat projection. I've seen earlier versions of it. It'll be really interesting. It's about 30 minutes long, giving the history of Virginia Tech over 150 years, and that will be on homecoming weekend, October 14th, 15th, and 16th. And I think the last announcement, unless anybody's got anything else, is for you to subscribe to YouTube, because Dylan wants to have 300 followers on YouTube by the end of the semester, so please subscribe to our YouTube page. What have I missed? Oh, the sign-up sheet will be going around for PDN credit and to justify our large quantity of donut eating. And I think that's it. So I'm going to I have the wonderful opportunity to introduce an amazing team of faculty that are putting on as it says up there, a symposium and exhibition that's going on, thank you for the cue card here, September 30th through Sunday, October 2nd, which is not very long from now. And they've already got part of the exhibition is already up in the Moss Galleries right now. So I'm gonna turn it over to them, but it's just an amazing team of faculty with Nate King. I don't know why, if I don't look down here, for some reason I will not call your name correctly. Meredith Drum, and Zach Dewar. So I will turn it over to you guys. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for taking some time in your morning to come and hang out with us. Appreciate your being here this morning. So the reason that we're here is to talk about and advertise, I suppose, this symposium and exhibition. And the one part that Ben didn't say there that I'm going to add and talk about first is the new media caucus part. So the name of the event is Future Bodies. That's the symposium. And it's being, it's owned by, hosted by, I mean, it's hosted here, but it's the event of the New Media Caucus, which is a national organization for new media artists and scholars to support their work and to find avenues for, disseminating their work. And this is one of them. So, yeah, like Ben said, this is next week, starting next Friday, 1 week from today. We hope to see you there. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. So, Nate, do you want to? Here.
Thanks. Hello, good morning. I wanted to start with maybe touching on what new media is. Some of you, maybe the term might feel a little bit vague or unspecific. So what is new media? This is my answer. New media art is ever expanding. It is driven by the development of new technologies. It's experimental and often exploring possibilities of the medium itself and pushing the medium to see what artistic expression can be achieved. It might include things like augmented reality or virtual reality. It includes video art, animation, and sometimes the work might be web-based or interactive. It could be a kinetic sculpture, or it could be photography that includes digital composites. And you'll see all of these things at the exhibition. Put simply, there's a lot that new media art can be. You may have heard of the new AI image generator, Midjourney or DALL-E. These are machine learning processes that instantly spit out lifelike images based on text inputs. And it's been somewhat controversial. Some artists in support of it, while others are against it. And some fear that maybe the automation will replace the artist. Art making has always responded to developing technologies, and while I don't speak for everyone, I'd like to think new media embraces developing technologies as tools that can help express new ideas. These new processes might challenge our own ideas of what art is and can be, and can help us see with new perspectives. So Future Bodies will present a constellation of new interdisciplinary research and practice in new media that considers the role of bodies, broadly conceived, in our collective future. Future Bodies will convene conversations around a set of interrelated questions about how bodies shape and intersect with art, technology, data, ecology, and history. We invite participants to explore how specific bodies, as sites of tension and contestation, are rendered, identified, and understood, in turn, how they enable us to imagine new futures inside and outside of established systems. And I'll turn it over to Meredith.
I'm going to tell you about the keynote, which is happening at 10 a.m. next week on Friday, so a week from today, in the Lyric Theater. So the rest of our events will be happening either in here or in the Armory or in the Moss Art Center, but we're going to start out in the Lyric, and you're all invited, so if you're interested, do come. Micha Cardenas is going to be coming to us to give the keynote. I'm going to read her bio. Micha Cardenas, PhD, is Assistant Professor of Performance, Play, and Design and Critical Race and Ethnic Studies at the University of California, Santa Cruz, where I got my degree. Yeah. What was that? Go Banana Slugs. Yeah, Banana Slugs, where she directs the Critical Reality Studio. Her book, Poetic Operations, forthcoming from Duke University Press, proposes algorithmic analysis to develop a trans of color poetics. Cardenas also co-authored the books The Transreal Political Aesthetics of Crossing Realities in 2012, and Trans Desire, Affective Cyborgs in 2010. These were published by Atropos Press. She is the co-editor of the book series Queer Trans Digital at NYU Press with Amanda Phillips and Bo Ruberg. She is a first-generation Colombian American. Her articles have been published in Transgender Studies Quarterly, GLQ, Journal of Lesbian and Gay Studies, AI and Society, Scholar and Feminist Online, the ADA Journal of Gender, New Media, and Technology, among others. Excuse me. And the title of her talk that she's going to give here is Poetic Operations in Trans Ecologies, and this is her abstract. In this talk, Dr. Cardenas will discuss her new book, Poetic Operations, Duke 2022, as well as her augmented reality artwork about climate justice and her forthcoming book, After Man, Fires, Oceans, and Androids. In Poetic Operations, Cardenas considers contemporary digital media, artwork, and poetry in order to articulate trans of color strategies for safety and survival. Drawing on decolonial theory, women of color feminism, media theory, and queer of color critique, Cardenas develops a method she calls algorithmic analysis. In her forthcoming book, After Man, Cardenas confronts the dual crisis of climate change and COVID-19, which have prompted speculation on the end of humanity. Following on the thinking of Sylvia Wynter, Cardenas considers the end of humanism not from the privileged place of post-humanism, but from a decolonial viewpoint that many of us never had the privilege to be considered human. She dwells in what comes after man in contemporary art, science fiction, and international art biennials. So, and we want to thank our sponsors of this keynote. The keynote was made possible by the University of Virginia Arts and the University of Virginia Office of the Provost and the Vice Provost for the Arts at the University of Virginia, with a contribution from the Virginia Tech Women and Minority Arts and Scholars Lecture Series. And we have more sponsors that we'll show on the panel in just a moment. So those were the sponsors of the keynote, but we also have major sponsorship from ICAT and from the School of Visual Arts and from other institutes here at Virginia Tech. So we thank them, and I'm going to turn it over to Zach.
Thank you. So this is my opportunity to be excited now. Why are we doing this? Well, a few reasons. First of all, I think I remember, Ben, do you remember this? We used to have Sova and Ben faculty meetings. Do you remember that? When I first got here, and Ben said, you know, why haven't we hosted a art symposium here? We really ought to do that. And we went, Ben, that's a dumb idea. We're busy. And then I went to Border Control, which you see a picture of here in 2019, which was the first New Media Caucus Symposium and exhibition in Ann Arbor in Michigan. Michael was there with me. And it was a really wonderful event, and I so much enjoyed being there. And I went up to the president, and the president who was coming in at that point in time, Jesse McDowell, and said, hey, guess what? I know this guy named Ben who says that we should host something here at Virginia Tech. And so here we are. And the reason that I want to do this is because it's an amazing opportunity, especially for our students, to be exposed to and be able to come in contact with artists and scholars in this field from all over the country, and to hear what they're thinking about and talking about and see their work. And we're just about there. So you're all invited to any of these panels, whether you're registered or not. We're not going to be policing making sure people have lanyards to go in to see talks, right? Everyone's invited that wants to come. Like Meredith said, there's going to be, there's like 150 people coming in. There's going to be presentations in here, in the library room here, in the seminar room here, over in the Armory gallery, not the Armory, the downstairs, Armory 101, and then over in the Moss Arts Learning Studio. The schedule is all online up there at the futurebodies.newmediacaucus.org. Please come to anything that you're free for, that you want to drop by and check something out. There's paper talks, there's artist talks, there's workshops, It's basically Friday all the way through noon on Sunday. So please come and hang out with us. I'd love to see you there. And if you want to mention this to any students that you think might be interested, that is why we're doing this. It's why I'm doing this. Maybe other people are doing it for other reasons. So I would love to see your students there if you can convince them to come. Let's see. What's next? Oh yeah, this is a beautiful map that Nate drew. Thanks, Nate. All the different places that we're trying to activate through the symposium. The Lyric and the Armory and the Moss and the CID. And thank you to everyone we have a sponsors thing later, but I'm just gonna say it now. Thank you to Kevin and to Gustavo and to Deb and Brian and Doug and all the people that have been really, really crucial in making this work. And I'm gonna bring you all snacks when this is done so that you start liking me again. Am I still talking? I'm still talking, right? Okay, yeah, so then besides the scholarship, there's also the exhibition. The exhibition is in 4 different places. It's in the Moss Arts Center upper and lower galleries. It's in the Armory Gallery and the mezzanine, which maybe some people consider to be part of the Armory Gallery. It's 2 rooms right next to each other in the Armory. There are VR works in the mezzanine and the Armory. There's 3 VR works. There's kinetic sculptures. There's a lot of video art. There's wonderful prints and neon things that Michael and Rachel made. Is things an appropriate word for that, Michael? Thank you, okay. You're welcome to check it out. It's been installed since the 10th, and it will stay up through the 1st. So there's also a gallery reception on Friday evening at 7 p.m. And the reception is going to be in the Cube, but you're welcome to come by to the reception and visit all the galleries and see all the work. Please do, and come talk to the artists. This would not be at all possible if not for money. Money is a part of this. And very, very thankful to these organizations for allowing us to make this happen. And making it so that we don't have to charge $400 for people to come to this event, to register for it, right? Without the sponsorship, there's no way we could have done this. So thank you to all the sponsors. And is there anything else you guys want to say? All right. Thank you guys for your time this morning.
Thank you very, very much, Zach and Meredith, Nate. Does anybody have any questions? And for those of you online as well, if anybody has any questions, comments, thoughts, important things. Well, you answered one of the questions. Was I was supposed to ask, you said to ask you why you did this, and you basically said it's all my fault, unless it goes well, and then you guys did everything. You do blame me for most things. I mean, to me, this is what we should be doing at Virginia Tech, and that's why I said it at the meeting with School of Visual Arts. Is really Virginia Tech is on this wonderful path, or even way down the road, in becoming a nationally prominent in the arts at VT and getting very well known for it. So hosting things like this allows not only for our students, as you said, Zach, to meet these folks from around the country and around the world, or around the world. These artists, I'm going to use words like things and stuff, but the artists from around the world, but it also, the artists from around the world get to see what's happening here at Virginia Tech as well, which is really, really nice. Well, I guess I can start off with a question about VR and art, which is obviously a component. You mentioned that there's, I mean, how, VR is such a embodied kind of way of getting involved in the art. And I was just curious, from any of you that are working in that area, how does that affect the art itself when you're actually, in some ways, wearing the art and walking through the art and being part of the art? How does that affect how you create the work itself?
Well, everybody's still on here? Yeah, so I might speak to, instead of speaking about our work, speaking about the VR work that's in the exhibition. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, there's 3 pieces over there, and one of them is including a haptic feedback jacket that's also with sensors. So they're encouraging you to use your body to provide input besides using a controller, so that you can, by doing this, I think you're supposed to be a chicken or a mother hen in one of them, that's right. So they're asking you to make chicken movements to move forward in the VR space, and the jacket helps the magic of that I don't understand because I didn't make it. There's 2 more VR experiences. One of them is called My Data Body, and you're in a sort of, I don't know, a null space, a non-real space, but you're pulling apart a body that's made out of internet data. And so there's, all the different organs are made out of, YouTube comments are the spleen or whatever, and there might be Facebook videos that are the ulna, something like that. I'm not really answering your question, but I'm gonna just keep going with this. And the last one is a really sort of fantastical dive into, it's called honey fungus. And it's a dive into a sort of alien organism, a sort of like, fungi are these weird things that we cohabitate this planet with that are so different from us, and yet we are so absolutely reliant on them for so much, right? And it's an encounter, I think, is the best word. If you put on the headset, you're encountering this sort of alien organism. So I would encourage you to go check them out. They're very interesting, just over there in the armory. It should be open. I mean, I put the thing together. Hopefully you just put the headset on if it works. I don't think you need to do anything else, but if it doesn't work, let me know.
Other questions? Tim?
Yeah, Kevin Ayub asked me to ask if there was going to be a plan to put some of this great art on the very nice display system we have here.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin has graciously offered to allow us to use this display to show all the video artwork during the symposium. So on like an 1.5-hour loop, I have a 64 gigabyte file for you, Kevin, 60 frames per second, 4K, to put the video up here looping during the conference. So even if you are just walking through the space, and hopefully students will see the artwork as well. So I'm super excited about that, yeah.
So Tim, you have to measure to see how many people come by and stop and watch that.
We could do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Any questions, other questions?
Michael over here.
Hey, yes, Michael.
I know a lot of conferences are thinking about whether it's do in person or online. Should I use this?
Yeah, I can hold it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of conferences are debating whether to host in person or online or hybrid. Was that a conversation that came up with future bodies, and were you part of that?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Do you guys want to get that, or should I just keep rolling here? Okay, so thank you. I meant to talk about that. I appreciate you prompting. So yes, it was absolutely a conversation because we started planning this in 2020. And we weren't even sure that we were going to have a conference or that it would be in person at all. And we're very happy to actually be here. Not all of the presenters are going to be in person. I think that COVID has fundamentally changed the landscape of how symposia are going to look in the future, potentially forever. I think about somewhere between 1/4 and 1/3 of the presenters are presenting via Zoom, and what we're going to have over in the Armory and in some of the other spaces is a place where people here can come in person and participate in that in a room together, even for the presenters that are on Zoom. Every single session, including the keynote, will be streamed also on YouTube. So if you can't make it to an event but you're interested, you can visit it online. Again, all of the links to all that stuff are on the website. And yeah, I'm going to be super curious to see what happens in 3 more years, whether this whether this new model continues for symposia, or whether symposia and conferences are going to demand that people come back in person. I really don't know. But without that, we wouldn't have been able to do this, I think, because most people cannot afford to. Even academics can no longer get money to travel for symposia. It's a big issue now. So did that answer your question? Okay, thank you.
I actually think that's a terrific question, Michael, and one that certainly in the performing arts we've been wrestling with a lot. We hosted CubeFest here, as you know, this summer, and there was a difference. All I'll say is there was certainly a difference between the composers that were here when their piece was being played and the composers that were not, were remote. And it's interesting with future bodies as a theme and embodiment certainly as a component of that, that this is an issue. And I don't know where these conversations, clearly you can make a list of the wonderful things about allowing people to be remote, like you said, not to being able to afford travel, for the environment, for all of these different things. It's wonderful to be able to be remote. People that might never attend or never give a talk at a conference like this might be a part of it, but on the flip side, yeah, I mean, it's amazing to have all of you here and the conversations. The Playdates are just as much about this wonderful presentation as it is for everybody that's been talking before and afterwards, and of course to see Molly. But no, I really appreciate you bringing that up because I think that is, I agree with Zach that this is something we're going to be talking about for many, many years as to what's optimal. Other questions? Yes, Mary.
I just wanted to thank Zach for all the hard work he's done. I mean, the ability for us to do part of it online and part of it in person is, it's not easy, but Zach has set that up and done such a beautiful job of all the technology. And he also did the exhibition. He and Nate installed it. I mean, they had help from the Mac crew, but they did a tremendous amount of work. So thanks to them. And also thanks to our sponsors, again, who were just up there just a second ago, because of this, we are able to allow a lot of our students to come for free, and we also were able to give away a lot of scholarships to people. I think we gave away something like 35 scholarships out of 150 registries, because people, wouldn't be able to attend. And that also included people that are attending online. We were able to give them scholarships too. So that was really important. And I'm really happy to have the students involved. I wrangled a bunch of students to be sitting in each room with this live streaming so they can just monitor it. And they're sort of like, well, what are these panels? These are undergrads. And because they're going to be seeing things like this panel, which is called Data, Surveillance, and Marginalization. And the papers are called, one is I'd swipe right on your metadata, or pulsating buildings, biometric architectural forms, or click and touch, figuring the human and the technical in time and tracking data practices, or good bodies for outer space. So, I think the kids are a little bit, they look like that's what they're going to be seeing, and they feel a little bit puzzled. But I'm just excited for them that they'll be exposed to some really cutting edge research. So, and thank you again for the sponsorship for everybody that's here.
And in closing, what I would like to say, I'm glad, Meredith, you brought this slide back up, because one of the things, for those of you online or may see this at a later date, this is truly what makes Virginia Tech different. I mean, on just this one slide, you've got two separate institutes that are working side by side together, Society and Culture and the Environment, and obviously ICAT. You've got the School of Visual Arts, you've got the college, Center for Humanities, you've got the other VT, on there, and then you've got the other Virginia University on there as well. So I appreciate it, and of course the Moss Arts Center. So thank you for putting that up there again, and thanks everybody for attending today, and I really appreciate the talk from you guys, and we're looking forward to sneaking into some of the talks in 2 weeks. Thank you. 1 week. Wow, time is flying. Yes. All right, thank you.